Good morning and welcome back at 7:30. I'm Maddie Kurth. Let's get you over to meteorologist Hannah Gard for a check of that Weather Authority forecast. Lots of tailgates to get to, Hannah.
We do have a lot of tailgates, and it's going to be very hot for those all the way through the weekend. We have college football today. We got the Saints tomorrow. We're going to be dealing with that sunshine and hot temperatures, not just this weekend, but all the way through the next week. Our highs today and tomorrow, 94. Our average is 89. So we are well above normal, and we're going to stay above normal through Thursday and Friday of the coming work week. Not much change with the temperatures, just a couple degrees each day, and we have no rain chances. On water vapor, we can kind of see what's happening in the upper levels. We have a low pressure system right here that is stalling out over the eastern U.S. And then to the west, we have high pressure. So you're seeing some rain in places like the desert Southwest that's bouncing off of that high. The high is what's dominating our weather pattern, so it's making it hotter. But the low slowly meandering north through the course of this week. We get in what's called a zonal flow, which is from the west to the east. And then the question will be the long range. So next weekend, do we see a low coming down over the Great Lakes or do we not? Because some of the modeling disagreeing here, but I do think that we'll be stuck in this hot and dry pattern at least through the end of this work week. Then we might see some changes, but the Climate Prediction Center is saying no, we will still be hot all the way through September 18th to the 22nd. So we'll see how that plays out. Definitely going to be stuck in the dry pattern this week, which is not great news. You can see the Mississippi River Valley, especially areas to the north of us, already in that drought. And for our area, most of us included in drought conditions. Now, they're not moderate, but this could get worse if we're not getting rain all the way through the coming week. So that's something we'll be monitoring today. Maybe you see a stray shower along the coastal areas. We've already seen some in Lower Plaquemines Parish, but that's going to be the best shot of getting any sort of moisture is those areas to the south. North Shore right now sitting in the 60s, even Belle Chase 69, 74 at New Orleans International, 80 degrees on the lakefront. It's a little bit mild out the door. This is the best time of the day to get out there, enjoy a morning walk. All of the rain, storm activity is way over here to the south of Florida, and you can see that we are kind of past where the drier air has sunk in, but we do have this high over us that's making for that northwesterly breeze that we're still seeing. Today, our rain potential, very, very scattered. Maybe stray shower or two. You see this tiny little pops of blue. It's not going to be meaningful rain, measurable rain, but some areas, less than 10% of the area, could see a little bit of moisture today. Most of us are just going to be dealing with the sunshine and the heat. We will see some clouds popping up in the afternoon, but our high today will be around 94. I think if we hit that, it'll be very briefly. A lot of the afternoon will be spent around 90 to 92 degrees. Then as the sun sets, we fall down to the 70s as we wake up tomorrow morning. Muggy meter, not looking too bad. This is what helps it not feel like the full summertime heat. Even though we're in the mid 90s, we're not feeling like 105, which is what we would expect in the summer. The dew points in the 60s and low 70s really helps, and they're going to fall even more. The morning hours are when our dew points are the highest, and as that air kind of mixes in the afternoon, gets drier. So we're going to see nicer feel with the dew points in the afternoon that will keep the heat index down. Something to consider if you are going to be out and about today, especially for those tailgates. We do have air quality alerts in effect for an increase in ozone, so moderate air quality for most of the area. This is for people who are especially sensitive to air quality issues. You might want to consider reducing that outdoor activity for today. In the tropics, we have a wave that we're tracking that just moved off the coast of Africa. Seeing some thunderstorm activity, but this is generally just a counterclockwise spin there. Low pressure, a broad wave. We don't have a center of circulation, but as it moves to the west, northwest, into this highlighted area in orange, it has a medium chance of developing in maybe the middle to later parts of the coming work week. You can see how this is kind of oriented to the northwest, passing the Lesser Antilles. There's still a very weak area of high pressure up here to the north. So if you remember earlier in the season, most of what we've seen come across the main development region has turned around that high. Now, I don't know that this will necessarily turn around the high, but it does look like, depending on the strength of the storm, we could see a pass to the north of the Caribbean. So that's what we'll be watching for, the trajectory there, how soon this turns into a tropical system, because a stronger storm will want to trend farther north. A weaker one will stay farther to the west. But seasonally, in September, normally that's the path that you'll see with those main development region systems that develop out there off the coast of Africa. Still 14 days out. We have a lot of time to watch this thing as it makes its way across the Atlantic. Gabrielle is the next name on the list if we do see that form later this week. For us right now, nothing to worry about. There's no immediate threat to the Gulf of anything. Not really even a rain threat here, Maddie. Just dealing with the heat. If you're headed to the tailgates, hydrate now before you go out there. It is going to be a hot one, especially with those stadiums being outside. Got to deal with that sunshine.
What should we take of that Gulf nugget you just gave us there, that we don't really have anything to worry about? We're all looking at the calendar and seeing September. Is now the time to count it out, or what should we be doing?
No, definitely. Well, with this specific system, we can't count anything out that's that far away. Obviously, we still have to watch it. I think that there's a pretty good trend with the models that this would be something to watch for the Northern Caribbean, those areas first primarily. Now in the long range, we don't know, but an immediate threat to the Gulf, I don't see really anything at all, which is interesting because if you looked at that September map, typically we'd have to watch for homegrown threats too that come from around Central America and the Southern Gulf, and there's just nothing happening. So it's really interesting to see this quiet period at the peak of hurricane season.
Day by day.
We'll take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hannah.